Hello, this is Kevin with Coinery. Today we're going to be making a ring out of a 1/2 ounce fine silver Don't Tread on Me ring from Independent Living. I think they were bought out by Money Metals Exchange. So, okay, let's get started. First we're going to punch a 1/2 inch hole into the coin or the round. Sometimes they get stuck in here and you gotta hit it with a little mallet. Just gonna punch the center out. So we got right there, still have the snake's head on there, looks pretty nice. And you got the gold snake in the center. This will ship out as a little keychain as well. Let's go ahead and trim out the inside where we cut the hole. With our deburring tool. This little hand tool kind of saves my knuckles in my hands. When you do a lot of rings, start to cramp up. This thing really helps. Highly recommend. Let's go ahead and sand off the inside with some 320 sandpaper. So we got there. Let's go ahead and anneal, soften the metal, and we'll start folding. Might need to sand those down a little bit. So let's go over to our 1-ton press. Use a doming block with a Delrin ball bearing. Start the folding. Right. So we have there. Let's go ahead and hit it again, anneal, and we'll use a 17-degree cone. Okay. This is the 17-degree cone mold. This is the mandrel here, and then this is the cone. Pushes and forms it even more. So we have there, starting to take shape. Let's sand down that cut edge. Make sure we don't get any splitting. It is fine silver, so it's a little bit easier to work with, but it is softer, so it might be more susceptible. So when you do a lot of rings, especially if you do some pickling or even some sulfur antiquing, You gotta watch your copper pliers because sometimes you might get a little bit of sulfur on there, and when you heat up your silver, it could cause some pitting, like you saw some black marks here. That's a reaction for this, so you should probably take my own advice and clean these up a little bit before you start heating things up. So, that said, let's anneal again. It's much better. Now let's come over here to our ring stretcher. And as always, we'll start with it facing down. And then once we meet the mandrel here, we'll flip it over. That way we don't put too much pressure on the ring itself. You'll see. Let's take a look. Put quite a bit of stress on it. Let's go ahead and anneal again. Okay, back over here. So we're getting pretty close to it matching. You can feel it. And when it starts to get too hard, that means it's intimately, I guess, mated against this, and so we want to flip it over. So we start stretching one side versus the other. Okay. So that's probably pretty good. It's looking all right. So let's go ahead and anneal again. And then we'll shrink this top edge down, and then we'll finish it off. Okay, this ring's pretty good size, so we're going to use that 17-degree die again. We'll just use that to push it down. It's the same degree angle as the dice here on the expander. Okay. And for this, we're going to use Swedish die plunger, I guess. We'll just keep checking it. Oh. That's not good. It's all right. The other side. Okay. Take a look and see what we have. Okay. Don't tread on me. Looks nice and even. So now we're going to trim off this inside to make it nice and comfortable. This knurled edge. All right, and we'll soften it up and clean it. That we're going to use this tool again. Hold on to it. So I use that tool for getting it down mostly, and then I fine tune it by hand. Seem to get a little bit more control over it. Feels pretty good. Let's hit it with some 320 grit sandpaper, smoothing that off. So what we got here. So don't tread. Inside looks pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean it up. We're gonna throw it in some pickle, and we'll have the shiny finish on it. One of the things I realized that I hadn't been doing was after you use pickle, you should kind of dip it in some water afterwards. But we'll try it. We'll do it now. Now you got to heat up the ring, drop it in, rinse it off, and we'll see what it looks like. Get some 4/0 steel wool. You want to do that away from your pickle because you don't want it to get any iron on there. Whereas if you use it again with other things, it might plate it. So let's go and clean this up a little bit. Show the shiny finish of it. Let's see what we have here. This is all cleaned off. Looks nice and shiny. Don't tread on me. Stuff on the inside you can still see. All right, now let's put an antique finish on it. For that, we're gonna use some liver of sulfur. I use the solids, and you put it in a right in my little crock pot here. And I don't use the liquid or the gel. So this one has solids in there. So when you use this kind, you're gonna wanna put the ring in there, swirl it around, get all the solids suspended, and then you wanna drop it, and all the solids will settle on the ring, and that's where you get your toning. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it in there for a few minutes. So just go like that. You can see it turning gray. And then drop it. And then leave it alone. Okay, so it's been about 7 minutes. I might have a little bit too much water in here, so let's see what we got. It's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and let it dry. I usually like to let these air dry. Don't want to wash off any of it. I've had it before where it washes it, but since I clean them with the pickle to get a nice clean surface for the sulfur to contact to, so it usually helps. Sometimes I found before that if I try and do the antiquing without cleaning it, it doesn't take very well. It's easy to wipe off because you're basically antiquing contaminants. So it's just my method. All right, it's starting to dry pretty well. All right, let's go ahead and rinse it with some water. Then we'll start finishing it off, knocking down the high spots. Let's get this out of the way. And just so you can see what it looks like before we start taking the high spots down. Looks kind of cool. All right. For this, we're going to use 4/0 steel wool again. Just lightly hit the peaks. This one will be kind of inverted. We'll see the lettering will be dark. This one, the lettering will be silver. So. All right. See what we got here. And usually after I'm done with these, I'll wash them with some Dawn dish soap and water. Really kind of makes it pop a little bit. So we'll zoom in and see what we got. So that's with the antiquing. Don't tread on me. It's 1/2 ounce fine silver. We do have 2 1/2 ounce versions of it. This one's from Taglio Mint. So this one's also Don't Tread on Me. There is a video on this one as well. It's got the Live Free or Die. There are 2 versions. I have a 1 ounce version that I'll make a video on later. So if you'd like to see them, you can check out my Etsy site. The link will be in the description. And thank you for watching my video. Bye.